special interaction, we have Mr. Kothari with us talking to us on gold markets. Hello, sir, and welcome to Ticker Markets. So the first question I want to ask is, what are the status on the gold policy which is coming up? You had an interaction with the government, which sources tell us. So what are the new things which is coming and what is expected date to come, sir?
Yeah. The new policy the government is announcing is the bullion banks, and second is the spot exchange. Bullion banks, it means now the government have announced the gold is asset class. After that, when the gold is an asset class, the transparency, the price, everything should be there. So now government wanted to be a bullion banks. Why not? If you see in the world's, the whole world, they have a lot of product related to the gold. Like you invest in the pension fund in the gold. In India, it's on a commodity side. So government decided to it's an asset class. Then you have to a bullion bank. Bullion bank means you have to open a savings account. You can keep your rupee as well as in the gold in the saving account. And second, the spot exchange, which regulated. Still, we are decided to the regulator who is the regulator. Then everything should be is there. Anytime after the election, I think it's maybe after the May. June or July, they announced the policies and everything. Everything should be there. They have decided we are following the Chinese model, the Chinese Shanghai exchange, spot exchange model, and everything should be ready. Once it's decide who is the regulatory, because once the regulatory is there, there should be the liquidity and everything should be the market. So once the government announced, then after the 6 months, it's on the live.
So the second thing, since 2013, we have seen the gold prices have been changed a lot, but the import duty hasn't changed yet. So what do you think? How is impacting the gold market, sir?
Yeah, it's a good question of the import duty. Import duty, if you see the international market and domestic market, is a huge difference of the customs duty. Almost 13% of affected. And if you see the last couple of years, the import which are 800, 850 or 900 tons, now slowly drop to 450 or 500 tons. So it's clean affected on our forex inflow and also the customs duty. So government have to think about the customs duty, because if you see the international market and domestic market, it's almost 13%. 13%, it means the 4 lakhs rupees difference in between the international and domestic market. So government think about the customs duty and the inflow of a forex, because it's a offshore market and inshore market is a huge difference in the dollar rupee rate.
Sir, you people basically trade into bullion and jewelry. So how much of gold are we importing right now, and how much of jewelry are we exporting, especially the handmade jewelry and the machine-made jewelry, sir?
In India, it's very difficult for export, because what happens if you are an export house, then you can import the goods in the license basis, and you have to not pay the customs duty. You get only the bonds. But if you have a consignment in India, you have to pay the customs duty, because in the environment duty structure, the custom duty variable are changes. Now, if you say today is the export, if I export, I have bought a custom duty today. It's on now it's 3 lakh above, and if I have export goods and there is no replenishment of a gold, so I have to reback the custom duty. It's come only 2,73,000 for today. It means almost the 1% of profit lose there in the custom duty. So the export government have to promote the export. They have to give some incentive on the export side. This year, the government in MSME, they give the incentive of a 5% of their interest part. But slowly, export should be down. And if you see the 10 to 20%, if a total import of a 600 tons, it's maybe 70, 80 tons handmade jewelry. But Indian handmade jewelry is a huge demand everywhere in India, like Bengali, Calcutta jewelry, the chains, and everywhere is the demand. So government have to give some incentive to push on the jewelry side and handmade jewelry.
Sir, coming to the last part, what do you think? How much gold is being imported right now into the country, and how is the elections impacting it, and the spot exchange coming up? So how these things going to be correlated, and how it's going to impact the gold market?
No, once if you see the whole scenario of the Indian economic, there is a lot of crunches in the liquidity side. So it's a very difficult to say about the gold import. But I think it's a gold now import is the downside. It's almost 450 to 500 ton. Maybe if a price fallen, then it's a demand should be suitable. Basically in India, it's almost depend on the demand and supply, and the both depend on the price, how the price is happening in the international market. If you say the international market is moving higher side and the domestic rupee are now it's appreciate, so it's not more effect on the gold prices. But I don't think so. The people have their save the money. It's a lot of. So I think demand should be as usual 400 to 50 tons in a year.
So the equity market has gone down as such now, but we haven't seen the shift into the gold market. The money didn't come into gold market. So can you tell us the reason why actually this is happening?
No, in India it's still it's still too difficult. In India, the gold market there is a no asset class. Once is the asset class, it's announced. Everyone should do the bullion banks and everything. Then there is the in if you see the in the whole world, the gold is treated as a currency, but in India it's treated as a commodity. So once it comes in the asset class, then is as usual like if you have a money, I have a surplus money, I can invest in the gold ETF, gold sovereign bond, anywhere. This structure is a huge structure now in India or in the future exchange. So slowly once it's asset class, the banks, bullion banks, spot market, the huge flow are coming in the market.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for talking to Ticker TV.
Thank you.